Hey, what is going on, guys? This is the SS Ultimate Goku back with another video. And so I wanted to talk about this whole with Code Geass, Rose of the Recapture, because in the most recent episode, which I did a review on, which go check that out, by the way, if you haven't already, for that episode review. But some people that are watching the series, including one of the bigger Code Geass YouTubers, My Media Chops, who talked about it briefly as well as other people. I've seen discussions and people talking about it. And I even mentioned it briefly in my previous episode review about some of the fan service, the unnecessary fan service that was going into this episode. But it's starting to become more of this regular thing, and a lot of people are now starting to say, like, and I heard Media Chop talk about it, is that this series is more for the fan service than necessarily writing a good story, or that they're not really, airing it out at its full potential. And to that, I vehemently disagree. While Code Geass has shown a lot of noticeable fan service, especially in this past episode 8, which we seen a lot of odd, peculiar fan service that was coming in. Some of it being unnecessary, some of it's whatever. The fact of the matter is, anime always has had fan service in it, one way or another. Some of it has more, some of it has less. But to say an anime isn't being written that good because it has more fan service than you want in a series, I don't think is a viable thing to say about a show. If we're playing that logic, that the anime is being done specifically to appease fan service and not necessarily writing a good story, then if we go by that logic and apply that logic, then Fairy Tail isn't a good written story, which I know all of you on here would probably disagree with that. But Fairy Tail, almost in every episode, has some type of fan service. I mean, they do something with Lucy, Heartfilia, the main character of the dang series. Just in this past episode with the new Fairy Tail 100-year quest, they did some actual interesting stuff with Erza, with with them wearing bikinis and all that, during that scene, and her losing her confidence and stuff like that. But a lot of times they've done a lot of things with Lucy that I'm sure a lot of that goes over the edge on some of the fan service they put out in Fairy Tail. But Fairy Tail is a good written story, and that's the reason why the story has been around for a long time, and is obviously just coming back. And you can apply that to a lot of different animes. Again, some animes have more fan service than others, but to say that fan service is what's cropping up the anime, and it's not, the anime isn't doing well, or it's not being written well, that it's just to appease fans that like fan service, I totally disagree with this. I'm really invested in this storyline, and I can look past a lot of the fan service, even though even my own self can admit, as I admitted it in the past episode review, that I think they did go a little too far with a lot of the fan service in this episode. But that didn't mean that I didn't think the episode wasn't a good episode. I think, obviously, there was, there was, if people are looking at this, for example, with Hariko, they did show it's just in previous episodes. This is what people are referring to with the fan service, is stuff like this. Obviously, we showed this particular thing in my review, but we didn't show the obvious weird shot that they showed after this, which was, in her being in a very questionable position. Um, yeah. Anyways, Sakria was in a very questionable position. And then, of course, the main thing, and this is the main topic of the video, because this was shown so many times in this episode, and that was Catherine. They constantly showed her boobs, like, you know, either doing a boob shot or, on the camera, or they would, show her boobs, like, moving around half the time. And this is the main thing that people have criticized about this episode, was the overexposure of Catherine here. And again, I do think they went a little far with some of the scenes here, especially the position that Sakura was in, like in the prison. Like, how many prisoners really are hung like that? But again, I have to say, these things that they showed doesn't make the episode a bad episode. I did think the stuff that they were doing outside of that stuff did control a purpose within the actual plot of Code Geass Roads of the Recapture. The twist of, Ash losing his losing the Geass that was brainwashing him, to see Sakura as, Rose, the brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then confront her at the end of the episode. I do think that was an important part to the episode, and the growth of Ash and the growth of Sakura, understanding the consequences that she did. That now she's been captured, but not only she has been captured, but she herself now has to face the consequences of her actions to Ash, who was supposed to be all along protecting her, but she didn't know that from her perspective, so now she used the Geass on him, and now she's finding out later on that, oh, wait, all this time he was actually supposed to be protecting me anyways. So I think the episode was written very well. I don't agree with this idea, and I know some people are saying this. I don't agree with the idea that the series was just written to be a fan service series, because I don't see that. I've seen far worse animes that have fan service that don't really have, character development in this. There is definitely character development in this episode as well as the episodes before that. We learn about Sakura as a character and where she's coming from and why she's doing what she's doing. And we are learning to why she did what she did to Ash, not understanding that Ash was actually trying to protect her from the beginning. So these scenes that they showed, these 2-second scenes here and there that they would pan in and pan out to, while, again, over, done, more than it needed to be done, but does not change the idea of the story, of the storyline being not done very well. I think the growth of the story has done well, despite a lot of the unnecessary fan service that was brought into the series. But again, if you're an anime fan, this is normal, because most animes have some type of fan service. And we can talk about which ones go over the edge and which ones go over, overboard. I think what they did in, for example, I think it was episode 3 of Fire Force, what they did with Shinji, the unnecessary thing that he did in Fire Force. I think it was also censored on the Toonami broadcast, but still, I think it should have been censored overall. That was one of the fewest times where I thought this was, because that was written in the manga to be that way. I was like, that was very, very questionable and should not have been done. Um, and that's one of the ones I've said was that was a bad fan service right there. That was bad. That was overdone. And again, we could talk about some of the fan services that are overdone, that shouldn't have been done, shouldn't have been written that way. We can talk about that from the cows come home. But to say that the fan service is just about the anime, I just think that's not. I just not think that's a fair assessment of Code Geass, and the new series that they're doing, because the people that were working on this series have been working on this for a long time, even before the pandemic. It got delayed because of the pandemic, but this was something that they had been in the works for a while, and I don't think it's just because of fan service to why they're doing the series. I actually do believe that they are doing this series because they actually want to bring more in for Code Geass, because it brings in money. So I don't like this idea that people are trying to now say that Rose of the Recapture is just a cash cow fan service series. No, I don't believe that at all. I'm invested in the series. I think the series is done very well. I have praised it. You know, mostly got all the names memorized now, or not screwing up, so that's pretty good too. So I know some people are complaining about some of the ways I pronounced the names in some of the earlier reviews I did, and we've corrected them. So hopefully that settled that. But yeah, I don't think it is it's necessary. I don't think this that's what this series is about, that it's just about fan service. And episode 8 did overdo that. I said it in the review, like I said, but I kind of disagree that there's more to the series than unnecessary fan service. This was a very well written show, and I am very eager to see episode 9. I'm very eager to see what Ash, like I said at the end of my episode 8 review, I'm very eager to see what happens, what Ash is going to do, how is he going to react to Sakura, and her proposal, and what about her wanting to save Sakura, and whatnot, and that was her mission. And then he could do whatever. Like, I'm wondering, he's got the gun to her head. Like, what is he gonna do? He's still mad at her for using the Geass on him, or on her, or her using the Geass on him. Manipulating to think that she was her brother. Is he still going to try to protect her, because that was his original mission? Like, from the beginning, there's so many things I can think of and what might happen, and I'm very looking forward to seeing what happens this Friday in episode 9, or next Friday. So that's what I'm looking forward to. That's what it's all about, guys. It's not all about fan service. Anime always has fan service on it. Some has more or less, but you gotta understand that just because we have fan service in the series does not mean that the show isn't being written well. And I believe that the people that are writing Code Geass are doing a fantastic job with this series. Is there some similarities to the original series? Yeah, but I think they're doing a pretty good job. The only issue I really think of the series right now is how Colin and Suzaku are not trying to fight their way into Area 11 Japan right now. They say it's because the shield is blocking them from getting in or whatever, but I feel like Colin and Suzaku, with their experience with the nightmare frames, I feel like they could break through those shields, especially with the technology that they develop. But that's just my opinion on it. But that's my only real complaint so far with it, which hopefully we'll get to see Suzaku and Colin at some point in this series, especially Colin, because Colin, it was a Black Knight, the Ace Black Knight, and she definitely would be there. She wasn't being blocked off right now. But nonetheless, this is my my thoughts on this whole fan service Rose of the Recapture thing. I totally disagree with this take. Let me know what you guys think. Comment, rate for this video, my videos. Please subscribe. Hit the notification bell for the latest contents. Thank you. And yeah, that's it. I am the SS Ultimate Goku Modern. Peace. Also, YouTube channel, the SS Ultimate Goku, Twitch, the SS Ultimate Goku, Instagram, the SS Ultimate Goku, also Discord link in the description, where we talk about a lot of various topics. So make sure to go there, and now I'm out. Peace.